Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Big news coming out of Indianapolis yesterday as it was announced Josh McDaniels will not take the head coaching position for the Indianapolis Colts and instead will remain in New England as the offensive coordinator. Now, this is very big news, and one of the stories that popped on my phone that I had to really look into because I thought it was fake news, right? Because the entire month of January, I've just been hearing that Josh McDaniels is going to take the Indianapolis head coaching job. He had several assistant coaches and defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators lined up for him. He had all this preparation before going to New England, and all I've heard was that he's going to accept the job. So when Adam Schefter reported that he's not going to accept it, I was shocked. This to me means only one thing, okay? That Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick sat down with McDaniels and said, basically, when Bill retires, you get the keys to the kingdom. You get the Patriots head coaching job. You are the next guy, okay? And that to me is the only reason McDaniels would stay, but it still doesn't excuse him from the fact that he's now the base snake in the National Football League. And in my opinion, if I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan, I'm upset that we don't have a head coach and our organization has been set back in the coaching search probably about 3 months now. But fuck it. Okay, Josh McDaniels is not the type of guy that you want if he's willing to do stuff like this and just betray your whole organization after for months probably have been communicating with your owner and your general manager about taking the head coaching job. So we're going to talk about the story and the potential ripple effect that it could cause in the NFL. So let's get right into that. Initially, this was the first story that I found about Josh McDaniels taking the head coaching job. This was December 28th. It was reported by the NFL Network that Josh McDaniels has been communicating with Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard, the general manager for the Indianapolis Colts, about potentially taking the head coaching job for the recently departed Chuck Pagano. And this was the earliest report that I found, so that means that at least at December 28th, Josh McDaniels was communicating with the Colts about being their head coach. And that is incredible to me that you could stay on the phone with someone for 2 months and consistently talk about, oh yeah, I'm going to take the head coaching job, I'm going to get my guys lined up. We just got to wait till the end of the Super Bowl or whenever we get bounced from the playoffs, and I'll be right over to Indianapolis. And then not even 3 days after the Super Bowl, you just totally go against everything that you've ever said to these guys and just back out like just like that, right? Not only does McDaniels he screwed Indy is what he did. He really did. He screwed them so badly, and this could potentially be very bad for Indianapolis in the long run, but I'm optimistic. Okay, I think that Indianapolis will find a good head coach. I think there are still some guys out there that can, pull their weight in the head coaching circle. I think that John DeFilippo, Jim Schwartz, basically anyone from the Philadelphia circle right now is a pretty good head coaching candidate. So I'd look at those guys. I know that they're looking at the New Orleans Saints offensive coordinator right now. So I think Indy will find their guy. But the fact that Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay came out and said that they're not firing any of the assistant coaches, which, granted, you can't really blame them for saying that, considering that the assistants probably didn't know what was going to happen either. But that could potentially be an issue. a head coach should be able to pick his assistants and his coordinators, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do that because of McDaniels. So what does this mean for Indy in the long run? Okay, I think that this could potentially mean that Indianapolis, or I should say this, Indianapolis can go one of two routes right now. Okay, they can go very badly or very good, right? I think that's the only two. I don't think they land in the middle. It's either they go really bad or really good, right? Because in my opinion, one of the reasons that McDaniels did not accept the head coaching job was because he did have concerns about Andrew Luck's health. And if that is indeed a legitimate concern, then whoever is inheriting Indianapolis, it's going to be a rough road for the next couple of years until they find that franchise quarterback. Because without Andrew Luck, even with Jacoby Brissett, who I like, Andrew Luck is like so much better than Jacoby Brissett right now. It's not even funny. But if Andrew Luck is indeed injured to the point where he needs another surgery, then you might just have to give up on him. And that's a sad thought for Indy because, Andrew Luck is the best player that they had since Peyton Manning. So to squander his talent and only get one AFC Championship appearance, that would be pretty upsetting, but you might just have to do it. You might just have to scrap him. And this might be good for Indy because if Andrew Luck's arm isn't a concern and I'm just bullshitting, then the new head coach could come in. He could be a guy like John DeFilippo or someone like with that caliber and just totally turn this organization around because you have some good pieces. You have Andrew Luck. You have a decent draft position right now. You have a very good draft position. Actually, you're picking third. So you can get a really big impact player. You can get a guy like Bradley Chubb or like Saquon Barkley or like Minka Fitzpatrick, someone along that line, and that can change your organization. So there, hope is not lost on this organization yet, and that's the thing I think that Indianapolis fans should keep their head up about, is that even though that this does suck, and it's not an ideal scenario, and you have just been hoodwinked and screwed over by a guy that you thought was going to be your new head coach, but keep your head high, in all honesty, because you don't want a guy like that anyway. Fuck Josh McDaniels. That dude is a snake. He's a huge snake. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Okay, that was just my initial first take on Josh McDaniels and what he did to the Indianapolis Colts franchise. I'll see you guys later.